Hello and welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. Today we're talking about jobs. I mean, we go to school, work hard to get that job, to get that marriage, to get that love. You know, it's sort of like a process that's been set up for us from a very tender age. So then again, you get a job that takes you away from the other thing that you were told you need, and that is marriage, right? So that happens, you go work at one corner of the world and your family's on the other corner of the world. It looks like a problem, right? But today we're here to see and, you know, have Zulu talk to us about how to stop those kinds of jobs and that kind of distance from killing our marriages. Zulu.
And you know, there's a guy who said he goes home once in 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months. Or
and it's a long far away.
Yes.
And I told him, man, there's a failure of leadership there.
Failure of leadership.
And guess who is the leader here? I'm talking to the CEO, and he's reporting how the company is doing badly. People hear the word leadership and they don't want to translate what it means.
Okay.
It is my job as the family leader to make sure we are together.
Okay.
I initiate the changes. I come up with the proposal. I table the agenda. I table what I propose. I told you many people marry when they're living apart. Or jobs and the nature of the jobs you're doing can send you far apart.
Yes.
Let me tell you what happens with love and relationships. There's a lot of natural forces that are against happiness, love, unity, good things. Just know that if you leave your farm uncultivated, it's not crops that will grow, it's weeds. If a toast that has been applied butter falls, it's a side that is buttered that falls down. In fact, there's a law that says whatever can go wrong will.
Yes. Yes.
There's a natural gravity for evil to take over. It's just a natural tendency.
Yeah.
You need a formula to build. You don't need a formula to demolish.
Yeah. Yes.
To stand up, you plan and execute. To fall down, you just need to let the effort.
Yes.
Just be careless a little bit.
And that's it.
Positive things at like family, unity, happiness, staying connected, take effort. People have been told, you know, people have been meant to think love is natural, it comes on its own.
Yeah. God given.
Swept off your feet, we fell in love, we don't know how it happened. So people may have that notion.
Yeah.
And true, some crops may sprout on their own because the seeds were left there last season. But they need cultivation and care to grow to fruition. Your first love, your connection may have grown on its own. Even the gifts, blessings that God gives you the job, blesses you with a good partner, blesses you with a child. They will need you to tend it, watch over it, cultivate it, invest in it for it to flourish. So start by knowing that just because we married does not mean nature is conspiring to keep us married. Please. I don't know what motivational quotes you read.
That's not one of them.
You know, you've heard, whenever you set out to do something, nature conspires to help you. No, not in this context.
Okay.
Love is resisted like climbing a hill. Building love, being happy. Just go to the general public, any public space, online or wherever, and look at how they attack happiness. They see people happy, they just hate it. Anything good is resisted. If you ask those who are spiritually minded, they'll tell you it's because we're in a fallen world. Evil is more attractive. If you ask people who are socialists, they'll tell you about envy. People hate when you have what they don't have. Their marriage life is terrible. They don't have love. When they're not happy, they'll try to assist you to fall. And they don't even want you. There are people who run after you to destroy what you have.
Yes.
Ha. You're only desirable when you're married, when you're in love, when you're happy. The moment they can get you to destroy that, what they wanted to destroy, they have achieved. You are no longer appealing. Please remember that. People can clap for you and you have 1 million followers because they admire and even envy how you have so many fans. If they can get you to a place where you can no longer have that kind of following and name, they'll lose flavor. So, whether you look at it from socialist or from the spiritual, just understand the conclusion is the same.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Because you married does not mean that the whole world is trying to help you stay married. No. Because you found love. Yeah. Does not mean. And that's why I advise you, those delicate personal things, keep them to your real friends. The things that matter, if it matters, cover it.
Yeah.
If it's personal, keep it personal. Whatever is for job, give as much audience as possible. And as I told you, you may think here you have a lot of those who come here are coming to learn. Those who hate don't come here to learn. They come to pick things to fight you with. We have a lot of people watching you who don't like you.
I saw.
They don't.
See you.
They're looking. It's when there's a problem that they talk.
Yeah.
It's when there's something they cannot.
Yeah.
So we're starting the premise by saying getting married itself is like signing up for a battle against the world. And we're not saying you don't have genuine helpers. We're just saying their number is negligible compared to the opposition.
Yes. That is true.
In most parliaments, the opposition is minority. Here,
it's on the majority wing.
Vast majority.
What?
Overwhelming majority.
Yeah.
If you were to vote and you see people who are genuinely doing their life, they make a blunder, they post their stuff, we are happy here. Somebody will say it's fake, it's a scam, we are waiting, it won't last. Somebody who doesn't know them, who doesn't have any business,
they come up with lies.
So on a wedding, we wear happy faces. But let me tell you, those happy faces will not deceive you. Enjoy the moment, but keep in mind knowing those who genuinely want good for you are a handful. Because you got married does not mean you flow downhill. Even without the challenges we wanted to discuss today, keep at the back of your mind. Having come together, it will take effort and conscious investment, emotionally, mentally, to stay together. Learn that, so that now, when we discuss today long distance, I want to tell you that long distance is an added challenge to a union that was already delicate.
Yep.
That's what I want you to know.
Okay.
We are not coming from a union that is well established, and this challenge we can actually handle it because we are standing. Marriage is always delicate. All groups, starting with couples, all groups are always on the verge of disintegration.
Yeah.
Always. Don't think you've been together 50 years, our union is untouchable. There's a scripture that says whoever thinks he's standing should watch out lest they fall. Even when you are being saved by the Almighty, there's a part of yours to play. Even when you are being given this blessing by the right arrangement, everybody, the parents supported, God blessed it, everything, even then it's still delicate. Now, when we add another layer of having to cover distance, I want you to register in your head, distance introduces another difficulty, another challenge, another potential for problems.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you that we don't always choose to live apart. But I'll put a quick footnote to tell you that people use distance to hide.
Okay.
That people don't enjoy being together, or the people who fear closeness. They have a problem they have never solved, and they are very uncomfortable being vulnerable and closely connected with another.
That's what marriage is about.
Yes. Why do people end up in long distance? Many people don't choose. And maybe they came back, they married and they managed to get together, but because of jobs and necessity, people find themselves dispersed.
Yes.
So this guy was telling me what has been happening. I wanted to put men first and say we are supposed to be family leaders, and that leadership means to make sure we stay coherent, connected, together. I don't delegate this to anyone. It's my job to make sure our family is united.
Okay.
The reason she's coming to be an assistant is because you're supposed to be head. This is the one place that the leadership of the man counts.
Yeah.
And as I told you, if a woman is fighting with the idea of yielding to leadership of the man, she's not ready to be a wife.
Okay.
And we're not saying women are supposed to submit to men. It's the wife to submit to the husband within the context of marriage. So as to who is to incur the cost, and this is why if we are living apart, and I'm the one who should be taking the responsibility to do the harder work. Maybe pick her or go where she is. Although logistics can vary, sometimes it may be more meaningful for her to travel.
Yes.
But I should be taking more trouble, more initiative to think how to bring my family together.
Yeah.
This is where leadership, and let me remind the man, is easy. Healthy women are looking forward to follow sound leadership.
Yeah.
I don't need to remind my wife, you're supposed to be submissive. By the time you say it, it's because there is no order.
Yeah.
Things have gone wrong.
Yeah.
If I take leadership, and there's time I used to pick her, and it is on my mind. She's even the one trying to tell me today, let me do the work. Because I wanted to stay engaged with the process, lest she makes it easy, I forget.
Yeah.
I want to cover the distance, do the work, incur the cost to keep the tension high until I solve the problem permanently. Sometimes problems sit because the leader is not engaged. Don't help people too much on their work. Let them lift so that they can find a permanent solution quickly.
Yeah.
And that's why whether because we have elections coming, and I keep telling them, the quickest way to be an effective leader is to stay on the ground. Use the road.
Yeah.
Use the water.
Yeah.
Buy what they buy. You will feel the pinch. And I told you, for me, one strategic way of management, relationships and management are related. Let me repeat that.
Okay.
The principles they use in management, making decisions to make profit, to make progress, to remain afloat, you need a lot of those in relationships. And for me, to manage my family, I connect directly with a store where we keep the food, I check the kitchen. That way, I give myself a psychological advantage of avoiding ambush.
Yes.
Of things running out with me unawares.
Yeah.
So it keeps me both, yes, I'm being hands-on, I'm helping, they think I'm very helpful today, but I also know there's another purpose.
Yes.
I'm strolling around my farm to see that the fence is being punched by some predators, rodents, and checking. I'm solving the problem while it is still a crack. So one way to make sure this guy brings the family together is don't assist him too much.
Okay.
You as a man, do the work. If she's traveling, give her the money. Facilitate. Send the car. I worked that way to remain on the forefront. And even if I don't have the money, but my energy is at it, can pray, bring my mind to it, my strategy. I can do it sooner when I'm on forefront to solve the problem, handle the issue. I want to drop the kid to school, to see the school, to experience the teacher, to see the environment, to sniff the environment. Let me be there so that I'm not being told, we think we should change because why am I being reported to like a secondary party? If this is my child, I should know what is happening.
Yes.
Let me take them to the bedroom. I see how the bed looks like. Let me see whether something needs to be changed. Maybe the light is too bright. Maybe something, maybe repainting. Maybe. As a leader, that's how you lead. Participate that to get a gist of what is going on. You never need to be prodded, shouted at, reminded. Whenever you have a project as a man and you have delegated, men are very used to projects. Most responsible men will tell you, even if I have paid people to do it, I pop in daily to take a look.
Yes.
To take a look. I've hired these software guys, but I want to see how is it taking shape. Without interfering, but to make sure there's progress, to maintain connection with the process. And the one thing is to say, as a man, make sure your family is brought together. Number two, now we are saying, when necessity forces you to be, you're posted in a place that you don't want to bring your family.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are working military or NGO. Some NGOs by nature, they must move because they go where the need is.
Yeah.
And when the need is lessened here, now they are moved to Malawi. From Malawi, they are moved here. By nature, that work is nomadic, so to speak. They go where there is necessity. If you are moved to places where you can't take your family, take the trouble yourself to stay connected to your family. So let's introduce the preamble that Long distance brings a challenge, and if you do nothing, it will tear you apart. It may not tear you apart physically, but it will tear you apart emotionally. You lose emotional connection, and you lose another dangerous, invisible thing called momentum. There's a rhythm you gain as a couple for your steps, for your projects, for your speed, for your thinking. There's a rhythm you gain as you work together. As you converse, as you think, there's something you gain that is associated to continual motion. In fact, how we miss each other when we have been living together is different from how we missed each other when you are falling in love.
Yes. Yes.
The way we miss each other after we've been together, I find that it is high input, it's high energy that I miss. The decisions I've made, sometimes I wonder whether they are really accurate. Whether there was another angle.
Yeah.
Whether it was whether it's something I didn't see.
They bring something different.
Yes. You get addicted to thinking together. You get so accustomed. And sometimes you need to describe a healthy marriage, because many people are living in imitations. They don't think together. They don't converse. You know? So the thing I told you that the intention of marriage was to become one in terms of reasoning, thinking, in terms of facing life, in terms of covering up for each other. You know, when they used to fight in army, we put our backs against each other. That's why I say I got your back, so that I'm holding my gun this direction, your back is against me, and you are guarding in that direction. So my guard here, you guard there, we're safe.
Yes.
That was the idea.
Okay.
That was the idea of, I'm not detail oriented. Sometimes you need to collect receipts, I don't know, for tax filing, for returns. I'm very poor in that. Sometimes I feel I don't remember. My mind is far away. So I have to be reminded.
Yeah.
She's particularly keen on detail. Even when she was a child, she could tell something is missing, even before Mom identifies it. Mom, there's that plate. You know, a detail, a sensitivity. And she's saying, if I employ people and they you know, sometimes they carry some food from the sack. The sack is big, but they take away some 3 kilograms. They say, I can tell the arrangement. You know, those people can tell how their things were arranged.
Yes. Yes, yes,
A
yes.
sensitivity to detail that is uncanny. You know?
Yeah.
And though I don't have detail, I have noted for further follow-up. You know? And I say that's exactly what I don't have.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of clothes, and I can't tell you when I lost it. No, it's one thing to lose something, and you can tell when the police ask you when it went missing.
Is it missing?
Now, that's another problem. You don't even report that, you don't embarrass yourself. So, but there are people who can tell. The last time I was with it was on Saturday evening.
Yes.
And they'll recollect, and they'll pin it where it is. Now, that's another detail. You can cover that side, I cover this side. As a man, even if it's your wife who is moving, negotiate with that. Don't marry a woman you can't tell anything. The woman who don't, because this girl was telling me she can't cooperate, she can't listen. I'm saying, what kind of marriage is that, man? What kind of marriage is that? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Are you leading or not? Or you're just surviving?
Some people, the imitation.
Some people are staying there because of children, because of other reasons.
Yeah.
You can't stay in marriage because of children. In fact, you're damaging them. That disunity is affecting the children very badly, confusing them.
Yeah.
Don't joke around with women who can't listen. We sit, we bring this thing together. And you're saying we disregard them. They have no say. As I've told you, is the reasoning together. When we are reasoning and I'm telling you my views and I'm taking more trouble to think, many times, in fact, I gain leadership by investing more time to think on the matter. By the time I bring you the idea, they are so well thought out.
Yeah.
You respect it. Yeah. Oh, you must have taken time to think, yeah, it was on my mind. You know?
Yeah.
And some issues, they pop on my head and I keep them there. I'll take time to digest them. I give you one secret personal life in order to give yourself advantage in the world. Create thinking time. Most people don't have thinking time.
Yeah.
In fact, they discourage thinking. They think when you're thinking hard, you are worried. When they see you keen thinking, they think you are stuck. They think you need help. Create time when the world can't see you.
Yeah.
To just think over your issues and to pace around and to focus your mind. Your mind sometimes works like a magnifying lens. It's when it is, the light is dispersed, the sunshine is dispersed, can't cause fire. But when you focus it, you can melt the problem and see possibilities. In fact, many times after you peered through it, you realize there was nothing there. You drop it. You come this other direction. That idea has no potential. Remember, it has been ruled out by this and that. Oh yeah, by the way, then move to the other. So as a man, take the initiative and make sure your woman knows you intend to provide governorship. If she's not governable, she's in the wrong arrangement. The next thing is the both of you now, the joint effort. There's a lady who wrote there in that post we were discussing, saying, for 3 years they were living very long, far away from each other. 3 hours away.
3 hours away.
3 hours away.
Okay.
Which is manageable in a day, but also very tiresome.
Yeah.
Our roads, you know them.
Yes. It will be 3 hours when there's no traffic.
You know.
If there's traffic, it will be a couple of days.
You know. And now she's saying, we lived that way, and I would arrange my duties to make sure Friday I leave earlier, and if possible, somebody can step in for me. I leave in the morning, or even Thursday evening. She's saying, we lived that way. We were meeting on the weekend. I would leave very early in the Monday morning, and we were trying to get transfers again. And he insisted on dropping me every time I'm going back. Wow. Let me take Matatu, no, I'll take you.
Wow.
Sometimes you're using Matatu. We are just together in the Matatu.
Oh, wow.
She's saying, what I saw that time, it strengthened us. So the one thing is to know when there's a family challenge, like you are being to work far away and we need the money. We need this phase of our life. We can't afford to drop it. Can't afford to turn it down. In the meantime, we have to work. Brace for both of you for a rough ride. But the funny thing is, it's also very adventurous. She said, those rides we were together, the things we saw on the road, the conversations we had, the fun, the bonding. That early morning when the Matatu and saying knowing we shall one day look back and laugh. You know?
Yes.
And she said, do you know, finally we managed, and where there is unity, God commands blessing. As we believed together, we got a better job near where we stay together. But do you know what? I wouldn't exchange those 3 years for anything.
Oh.
the effort we each put to conquer this challenge kept us on our toes. You know, we missed each other. We couldn't wait to meet on the weekend, and we are talking every day on phone. And you know, sometimes there is work. I can't come this weekend. We have to wait for the next one. You know. And this brings me now to my promise, to my hopeful side about distance.
Okay.
When they say the heart will grow fonder.
Absence.
You know, it will increase how much you miss each other. But it's only if you're still connected. So that tension of longing to meet you can enrich us. If there is no connection, the distance creates estrangement. But if there is connection, the distance only creates tension and longing to meet again. That longing to meet again makes me creative. Look forward to meet you. What I will tell you, what I'll write to you, what I'll buy for you. When we are still connected, the tension only increases appreciation. You know, how much difference there is when you're in my life versus when you're not. So living far away makes me cook for myself and learn to appreciate meals.
That's true.
Sometimes you get used to being cooked for. You think it's easy. You are left there to try a few, and you catch some few stomach infections for some mistakes here and there. You get some food poisoning. Oh my God, what happened?
What did I put?
And it never happens when so and so. Thank you. You know, and sometimes the downside, if you look at even illness, the normal illness, what does it make you appreciate? The time your body is at peace. There are many years you've been well. And you just woke up and left. You slept, left the stomach to work, the brain to pump this, the heart to add tomorrow, to see you guys tomorrow. You're okay, you did a good job. Tomorrow, no appreciation, no nothing, just routine. Until one place begins to ache and you are down. You have to pay money to recoup your health. You're buying medication, buying drugs. You have to rolling and you can't talk. What is it? Then you're locked from the world. You're not on social media. You're not on phones. You know, even they're trying to leave you alone to sleep. They're trying to check whether you're okay. After 3 days, now you're trying to come back to the world. You say, what went on? You appreciate the times you've been in touch with the world.
Absolutely.
Being forced to be far from each other, it can have a treasure of showing you another side of that relationship you're not learned to appreciate. The duties, the place this person feels in your life, the way you reason together, the jokings. That's another thing you can do. Creates another form of communication that you can use even after the distance has gone. People use phones, but not a lot of people use phones as part of enriching their lives. Many people use it to communicate logistics.
Yes.
Business, what we are doing together.
Yeah.
Many people call just because they missed the partner. And many people are not actually expecting it. They're coming from a place where they're saying if you call, there must be something.
Yeah.
They can't expect you to just call, you just missed them.
Yeah.
When you live far away, the phones become so pivotal part of your lives that even when the distance has gone, it's now normal to flirt, tease, joke on text, on WhatsApp, on it becomes now kind of a normal thing. You may overlook that until you meet people who have never lived apart.
Yeah.
And the phones are not part of their romantic life. They use it for business communication.
Yeah.
They don't know how to endear each other. And as I told you, once people get married, there's a closure of one chapter. You are trying to persuade and market yourself, and you have succeeded.
Yes.
You've married, confirmed. Once you're married, now there's another chapter that you must start. To learn how to woo each other, how to endear each other, to appreciate each other. And one way I found very enriching is thank God for your partner. The things you find yourself telling God will be more genuine.
Yeah.
They'll be more sincere because you have no reason to flatter God with lies.
You know, it's all knowing.
Once you learn to say, you gave me a good person. She backed me up there.
Yeah.
She's patient during down times.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And you don't have to, some of these things come to your mind when you're just doing your business. You don't have to wait until you're praying tomorrow to say it.
No.
Just thank God there and then. It will be so natural now to mention that before friends. You see that friend of mine, that husband of mine?
Yes.
She's unique in a way. That guy has supported me in a solid way. Sometimes being told thank you in a general way can sound made up.
Yeah.
But when a person,
if it's specific.
what's a specific thing? So that distance allows you to see specific and be able to show to the person how they enrich your life without being presumptuous. Many of us changing children diapers, it's not the most pleasant activity. It's a necessity. You have to do it.
Yes.
When there's a person to do it so that they have spared you the activity, you're appreciative.
Yeah.
You learn to appreciate now what you would have done. I would have had to handle that. So the richness in distance comes when you genuinely still committed to each other and communicating, and you're looking forward to meeting again. And because you're tossing and turning the person in your mind, you learn to miss them. You learn to include them in your thinking. There's a danger now. Some of the dangers are not to counter them.
Okay.
Now that I'll give you the happy
You are
side.
doing very well. Okay.
Some of the dangers is it can interrupt your intimacy rhythm.
How so?
So that you're not meeting physically. Some things you can't do on phone, like getting physically intimate.
Okay.
It can interrupt that rhythm, how you are doing it.
Okay.
And it can force you to hold and control yourselves more until you meet next time. When you're living far away, there are other parties in between. There's an employer in between. There's a transport system in between. There's a fuel crisis in between. There is transport in between.
Ukraine.
When you are far apart, other factors influence your meeting so much. The transportation, the money, the dynamics, the duties at work. There, many people's intimacy rhythm, because many couples work better with a rhythm, knowing at the back of their mind at such a time, so they can plan with that in mind. But now when you're not sure, when you are expecting that it doesn't happen, it can create very delicate, dangerous temptations. There are people who fell into cheating, infidelity, not for anything else except the interruption of distance that brought so much temptations. Temptations present themselves differently to different genders. For us men, it's you notice beautiful people everywhere.
Yes.
And it's like you're hungry and you notice every food looking edible. For ladies, is that appreciation, is that feeling, sometimes even the hormonals. So some of the problems when you are living far away will practically come from having to hold and work with a higher degree of unpredictability.
Yeah.
The other danger is that when you're far away, sometimes talking on phone is not as rich. And other people can become closer and closer to you emotionally and practically than your partner. That's one thing you must counter practically. The person who used to give me input for my decisions must remain my partner, even if they're in America.
Yeah.
I would drop voice notes, I would wait for their input, and those people, there are many people who said they even worked across continents. But because I saw this couple who would call video and they're not talking, they're just going about the business.
So you're just there. It's like you're with me as I move around the kitchen. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I don't see many dudes doing that though in my head, but yeah.
They'll say for some hours, but they can't talk, but they're busy with their life.
Yeah.
They see. So those little things, watching Netflix together, those little things, and how. So if instead of doing that, you start consulting your colleague more, your brother more, your sister more, who gives you more input, they gain importance and you did not intend it.
Yeah.
This is a warning that sometimes chemistry follows who you're talking to more, who you're listening to more, who is giving you input more.
Yeah.
You can become emotionally connected just because of how frequently you're talking. It's not because of unfaithfulness or you're not principled.
Yeah.
So it is knowing this. How come I'm calling this person more frequently? I'm asking them more frequently. How come we're spending more time together? How come we're discussing our lives more? How come many people, spiritual people, start by praying. We are praying together, prayer partners. This, any closeness, apart from your partner, is dangerous. So the way to avoid it is to consciously know this is a threat. The distance itself is a threat, but it's also an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's how we jointly. So if one of us shuts away, they're not available, they're not communicating, they're not picking, this thing will not work. And you're supposed to let them know. There's a height you're supposed to maintain. There's a degree of connection. We don't want to bring it to bare minimum. We're just talking, how was your day? Mine good too, thank you, good night. That's not, my emotions must go somewhere. And nature does not allow vacuums. If you leave me unconnected to anyone, I'll be so vulnerable to connect to anyone. Yes.
You know, there was a question here for you. It was more of a comment from a guy called Isaac, and he says, they'd like your take for them who are in the military. Bearing in mind, we are in the disciplined force and we do not determine our next move. You might be at point A with a family and suddenly you're moved to point B and you're unsure whether you will return or stay in the new area of jurisdiction. At this point, you can't keep moving with your family. You're like a practitioner of nomadic pastoralism. And just to add on to something here, because sometimes as a military man or woman, then you're taken to places where your phone is not, there's no network, probably phones are not allowed because it's sensitive to whatever operation. Then how then would Isaac or anybody else in that space navigate that?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's true.
Remember, we are taking this job voluntarily.
Yes.
We no longer have jobs that are compulsory. Even military now, you can resign for your own reasons.
Yeah.
You can always give reasons and leave. So before we go for the mission that is locking me away, lockdown, we have discussed with my partner.
Okay.
It appears like, so we discuss how long will it be? 2 months, 3 months, we can maneuver this way.
Okay.
Usually they're not years of not communicating. They also respect the fact that you have family.
Yes.
And if we realize that this job is no longer supporting our union, we can leave it. Okay. In the worst case scenario. So for Isaac and everybody else, when you're working as a team and you're willing, you will find a way. The problem is when you are thinking alone and making decisions solo, and the other person is just supposed to follow.
Yeah.
The thing is to say, even if I'm going to a place where there's no network, we can discuss how long it will be taking to get in touch with this way, how long this way. Some things, there's a time there were no phones, people would send letters. There's some things you can always maneuver if you think together. Yes.
All right. And so we wrap this up with this. If you put your job ahead of your family, and I don't know why this feels like you're talking to Isaac again. If you put your job ahead of your family so that you can not make the hard decisions to preserve your closeness with your partner, don't even bother marrying, because that marriage will not last. Isaac, adios.